Good morning and welcome to the Be the Light meditations. If I appear I'm laughing already, it's because we have some fun people on the call today. And then I press record and I know new people are coming in, so I want to make sense. In the last few weeks, you may have noticed things are accelerating. It's like a plug has come out of the entire divine plan. And whether you're ready to jump back in again, because it does seem like things were stagnated and our patience was stretched, things are moving. So go ahead and know that, realize it, and let things begin to flow and really move in your life. And take some leaps. My dissertation is about women having spiritual messages and being told the way things are going to be on earth, and yet they're waiting for everything to feel safe and for all the green, flags and green lights and the pathways to open. And the fact is, we're forging and making those paths. It's not always going to be comfortable, but now it's going to be much easier. In fact, the dissertation is about removing fear from hearing and knowing exactly the next best thing to do for ourselves. And so we feel it, we know it, we feel it in our bones, and then we go out in the world and we go, eh. So last night I was guided to read a book, Divine Love, Pure Joy, by a woman, Benaz. And she just is a fabulous, beautiful being. And I read how since 2015, she has had spirit beings coming and speaking to her absolute high truths and helping her with guidance in her own life. And she writes right in there, hesitation to share what she's experiencing and expanding into with other people because it seems so otherworldly. This is rampant. I'm sure everybody on this call is saying, yeah, I kind of wish that I had everyday realization that all of these spiritual messages and experiences are valid and true. And the fact is, we are making our reality. And so by holding ourselves in that place, by the way, she did print the book and she printed everything and was courageous and is absolutely on her path doing healing work with people. But how many people are out there bringing through what I call the spiritual side of Source's messages, which is the feminine side, the collaboration, the love, the inclusion? How many of them are still holding back and waiting for you or for me or someone or something to remove their fear, that gauze, that muzzle that keeps them from saying, yes, I'm realizing I'm connected to something bigger, and I have some ideas of how we can plan a new social system, and I'm part of it. We're so trained to think of ourselves as small and marginalized, and the bigger voices are on television and they're selling spiritual programs and getting people signed up. And well, when they say the meek shall inherit the earth, there absolutely is truth to that. And so today, what we're going to be talking about is using our voice to speak that truth that comes through with no mitigation, no fear, feeling into and safety and the whole thing, to take the monitors off, okay? So let's begin our meditation now. Let's take a nice deep breath through our nose and out through our mouth. Let's claim that it is now safe to say and claim what we know and what we experience. We are tired of being I just saw it's almost like we're dolls on shelves, gorgeous dolls. We're ready to play. We're ready to be out there and to mix it up. I know one of you is laughing. I can feel it. A doll on a shelf, waiting to feel safe. Let's take a nice deep breath through our nose and out through our mouth. And feel into our bodies fatigue of how long we have waited to feel free, to be set free. What does freedom mean? It means to let the messages of spirit come through us without the ego or our mind squeezing them, contorting them, making them into a form that we assume will be digestible and safe for others, not realizing that that overlay of our fear and manipulation is the very reason that they don't really trust us, because they feel our ego management of the message. To be free is to not be pre-managing the outcomes of our message coming through. And I love this vision of a woman or a person, I say this feminine, it's not gender related, of just saying something gently that is so true that everybody takes a breath and says, oh, thank goodness someone had the courage to say it. And because you don't have tension in there, they're just gonna receive the message through spiritual realms. And there are many ways to receive messages through spiritual realms. Spirit guides, spirit family, directly from source, ancestors who've passed over. So these messages coming through, our meditation today is to just let them come through you. Be a hollow bone. You taught me that, Avalon. Take a nice deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. We ask and intend to set this sacred space and to hold ourselves, our physical selves, our consciousness, and everything about us in a beautiful, beautiful geometric structure. Let's remove the entire past, the fatigue, the waiting, the confusion, and let's be present in this moment with this intention to be free. Feel how that feels in your body, to imagine being completely free. Feel how the energy is it's lighter. There is a flow within you, but you're still here with your bones, your body grounded. Feel your sit bones. You are still very much here. Let's call in our spirit family and feel their presence. And often I have said and shared with you that they don't understand why we just don't get this show on the road here, why we don't just follow the high, true, absolute prompts that they're giving us. And it's because we're so patterned with this earthly fear. So with these spirit beings, they're fearless and they don't understand fear because they're not here. They're not the ground crew doing the work with their families, with their churches, with the political systems, with everything that we deal with here every day. So let's make some peace with them first. In your own heart, in your own words, thank the spiritual guides for all the patience they've had with us, attempting to get through and for their words and direction to stick. All that resistance. So let's acknowledge and appreciate their commitment the resilience to stay there, even when we recite our same little pity parties and issues, which are real to us, of course, because we allow that projection and that reality. So let's make peace and have more conversation without the static in the field with these beloved divine beings that are here to assist and support us. In your own words, admit that you've been resistant. I am sorry that I have held your messages only safe in my heart during meditation and sometimes in my journal or in safe circles with other people. I am sorry that I have message fatigue that fills me, that has no place to go in this reality. I am asking for new scripts, new realizations, new ideations, new visualizations that allow for us to work together in more practical, grounded ways so that I can be the messenger and the light that I signed up for without all this back and forth. To be present with you in your vibrational slice of reality so that your voice and your guidance is louder than the other humans I'm in relationship with. Let your frequency be the dominant frequency so that I can exude that into the relationships that I'm involved with here on earth, so that I can be this light and shed it and not go back and forth and feel tattered and frazzled. So we're having it's called a come to Jesus talk. My friend Deanna says that maybe you have to have a come to Jesus talk, but it's just, we're talking, Jesus means have your Christed consciousness moment here of truth, of how much you have been battling, just exuding this truth and letting it come through. Have you had this semi-permeable membrane? Well, I can say that, but I can't say that. I can't say that, can't say that. Can you allow yourself to imagine that you can move forward and you can be like Jesus, you can be like Buddha, and only say resounding, loving, truthful things, and anchor that in your heart, in your language, in your being, that the rest is just kind of that uneven journey history that brought you here. Are you ready for that? Can you allow it? And the question is, will you choose it here with me today? Okay, I'm watching your heads etherically. Oh, okay, what does that mean? Sounds good. Let's do it. We're making peace with the non-embodied spiritual beings, interdimensional beings that are communing with you all the time. We are in a oneness now, and we are seeping into and holding the vibrational reality that they reside in. Okay? Just feel this. Feel this and claim that you are safe and you are still grounded. All is well. So we are in relationship now, primary relationship with these divine beings who are refined archetype, shards of light representing source in unique packages of consciousness, just like you, a unique package of consciousness. And their consciousness is now in training, and their frequency fields are moving through you. And we ask and intend that this process be calming, bring you a sense of peace and a sense of yourself grounding here in this physical body as never before, as a calm, enlightened, full of light, being the light being. And it's okay. Oh, there we go. Just a little tiny interruption there and lost the picture, as happens in life. So we are holding this delicate, soft field of presence. And just know that this nowness, this presence, is all there is. If you're joining in this choice fully, this is it. Right here and right now. So let's go through our body, and let's go through our body with a fine-tooth comb and see, is there any part of us that still has a fear nugget that might short circuit or spark or not allow this full communication and connection, receivership, and then sharing the messages of Source through your spirit family. So take a breath and just imagine you are scanning. And if you hit upon any area that is a change from a cohesive, bright field, doesn't matter if you know what it is. Might be from another lifetime, might be something you've taken in from the collective consciousness or from your childhood or trauma. Just breathe into it. Just breathe into it. And just as those special old-fashioned bellows, they're little items that you press together, and they actually cause the embers of your fire because they give it more oxygen. Imagine that you are pulsing light, oxygen, and life into this old little tight ball of decisions around safety that you made somewhere along your timeline, which, to be honest with you, have kept you safe and sane. But now you know enough about consciousness and intention and energetic fields that you can let that go. Let that holding aspect very gently begin to tease open. Keep fanning the flame. Keep fanning it, fanning it. It just has been a tight construct. Tied into your nervous system, tied into some beliefs. And let it just begin to soften and melt. Don't let it go so fast that you get a little scared. Let it just open and soften and see the energy for what it is. It was just a mental construct that served in a certain place and time that you are now dismissing. Take a deep breath, and where that little construct was is now an empty space that you are going to allow the perfected, precise grid of light shards to fill that space. So now your entire energetic field is a cohesive, beautiful electromagnetic geometric structure, somewhat like think of a galactic jungle gym, glistening gold and silver, perfect angles that represent your entire energetic field, designed and moving and processing through your consciousness. Beautiful. Yes, it's a moving star system. Little tiny grid points holding it together. And every thought, nuance, there is a gentle movement that allows for the external world and frequencies to have an input, an interlay, a beautiful entrainment and movement. But you are choosing to be the dominant frequency of a higher, subtle order of vibrational field. And we know through physics, lower vibrations will generally move towards the higher vibrational field. So feel your coherent, pulsing, bright, perfected energy field throughout your entire being now. Excellent. So we just removed a perceived blockage, but let's go through our entire emotional field. And let's have a general soothing, calming, slowing, and gently refaceting of all the little movements within our emotional field so that it is locked into our sense of safety, direction. We know how to commune with higher messaging and beings. We know that it is safe. And we are choosing to stay in this realm while simultaneously being grounded here and able to function across all tables, counters, telephone encounters with the humans in our life. So you've reached this level of mastery. Let that sink in. It hasn't come overnight. And you've just pulled the last linchpin out that has kept you from fully filling all the numbers, the color by numbers. Just feel into and sense the beauty of your entire essence now moving and circulating in complete, joyous oneness. And notice how you're not alone at all. You're surrounded by divine beings, and you are surrounded by other human beings holding their cohesive divine alignment. These kindred spirits that you now can commune with without your telephone, without the internet. You are connecting and communicating at a higher realm. So how could things not speed up? Of course, the synchronicities are a result of these higher etheric connections that your human self is saying, oh my goodness, I was just thinking about my sister Martha, and now it's real. This etheric higher vibrational realm of interconnectivity is now more real than the old-fashioned, slow systems that humans are trapped into as systems on Earth at present. So take a deep breath and feel the this light speed of the potential projects, communications, relational magic, all that is now available and open and ready to go. It's like a whole new system. It's like a whole new mall is open. The Master's Mall, and you open it up, and the stores Oh my God, my goodness, you just create what you want. You go into a store, there's a theme, and you create it with other people who love to create along, and then you just take it and have that. All resources are available. All the resources and creations are sustainable. It is a new conscious reality with like-minded, awakened souls. If you so choose this reality, integrate this into your heart tissues, into your etheric sacred heart, and allow it to weave deeply, deeply, deeply all of these, what were previously potentials and possibilities, as now reality. Because we are at this point for you to step into full belief, full operationality of all that this is. So while you are here, kind of not simmering, but not composting, but generally things are really moving, I'm going to talk a little bit about the fact that when we communicate in the higher realms, there is a decoding mechanism. The spiritual beings may or may not be speaking in human language wording. In fact, they are speaking in sound, light, and color. And some of you are clairvoyant. You can see visually the color, the movement, the pictures, the answers. Some of you are clairaudient and you can hear. But sometimes the clairaudient is actually light language, decoded, stair-stepped down into human words so that it becomes declassified. When you open the folder, you actually can read it. It's available to you. You've gone through that vault. Let me explain how this works. Imagine your heart extends out with this communication cord. It's not your mind at all. It is a beautiful portal through your heart. And in between you and the spirit family and guides and source is a transducing, decoding mechanism. It's like a ball that allows for sound, light, and color, the frequencies, the tones of the messaging from these pristine beings to help you see, grow, expand, and allow yourselves back into your divine alignment. Their frequencies go through this little ball, call it a 0 point. So while you're allowing your body for all this to seep in, that was the word I was looking for, to seep and brew like a beautiful tea. All of this is definitely happening alchemically. Take your focus on this 0 point, this beautiful, multifaceted, but in a circular ball of light. This is your connection to the all that is, and asking for and retrieving information. Sometimes you ask for it, and sometimes it just pours through. So take your attention on this beautiful ball of light. It's full of life. It is full of color. And your only job is to use your will to dial in specificity so that you can talk to the beings, or one being, or a chorus of being with one representative speaker, which is often the case, or a specific archangel, or a Melchizedek. All these delightful beings that carry archetypal information in mastery and excellence in specific areas. So this is the new educational system. This is how children will learn in the future, not from a book written in some stale, old, dead person's idea of reality, but they will go in and experience the entire field and bring it back through the 0 point and expand their consciousness with information. So let's focus on your 0 point, and let's go ahead and polish it up. Let's put a little divine essence in it, almost like when you get your sewing machine going and all of a sudden you didn't realize how fast and smooth it can go. Allow your 0 point, your transducer, to be clean, oiled, upgraded, and moving at light speed. Excellent. So now all of your tools are in place. Now I'll bring another element to your awareness. Sometimes they're not just giving a message to you, but to the world, and sometimes it's a message that the world can't hear in words. They think it's not true. Blah, 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 blah. So sometimes the message comes in so fully, it flows through the transducer 0 point and into your body, and you hear it, and you might evoke it out in a phonetic pattern called light language. It's also called speaking in tongues. And that is when the frequencies surge, when the message is so important that it comes through unmitigated, unchanged. And sometimes we are reluctant to let this message come out, blurting out a nonsensical, phonetic mixture of consonants and vowels that is very unusual. But let's talk about what that actually is. It is direct communication from specific areas within the universe that are needing to communicate through you. Only you. Only your identifying frequency field can broadcast that out in this moment. In the book, What is Light Body? The author states that at the 6th level of our ascension process, we actually speak light language spontaneously. And I believe this is the reason. We feel so separated from Source here the minute we're born. And if we speak light language, it connects us etherically, hello, telephone, phone, home, with where we're from. And we immediately feel a connection of purpose and mission, even if it is unconscious at first. But we realize that we are visitors here, and our larger consciousness is parked with our family of origin in another place. Sirius, the Pleiadian, the Arcturians, all of these delightful teams of beings who are here now through you, being born and incarnated here. So light language is boring kia korokotia narakaya motor. That was a specific, dialed in, one dialect frequency that I just spoke from another place in the universe. It came through me in this moment with messages that I can sense intuitively. So that is the reason for light language to come through you, through your heart to your voice, bypassing the mind, first to allow you to recognize, be connected. It's like ET phone home. Your whole body shifts. It is the next step for you in initiation. But you also may be a megaphone for others. It is said when a high divine being at a certain level speaks, say a Christ or a Buddha, when they speak, their light language goes out to the crowds, and each 0 point decodes it, and they think that that divine being is speaking in their own mother tongue. I see you, my friends, standing on stages in the future, not too far off, where you are speaking light language, and you are simultaneously intending that it goes into and is decoding into every single being's heart. And in this way, you are source. You are a finger of source. You're allowing the messaging of calm, renewal, rejuvenation for the earth experience on earth to come through you in a way that they can receive it and feel chills and feel safe and at home. At home. They're finally at peace and at home simply by you allowing light language to come through you and not worrying about how it's received, which goes back to our original intention today. Let it come through you without fear. Human words, light language, toning, music, let it flow. Imagine that you are in between source and the orchestra, and you are a conductress, and you are conducting, and occasionally you say, oh, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to hear that note or play it. The music stops. Think of how often during the day, when there's a spiritual truth, and you have stopped the music. Who wants to listen to that? Be the orchestra that is flowing and seamless, that is a string of pearls with no missing notes, no stopping. That's why people don't believe spiritually awakening people, because they say all these amazing things are in this state, and then they go and do, kind of crummy things. Will go to a church and come home and cut their neighbors off on the way home and swear at them. That day is over for you, if you are choosing this. So take a deep breath, and I've spent a lot of time talking because this is going into all of your tissues, your back. Feel your back. Is your back in, or your shoulders, your neck, your head? Is everything in? Okay. So imagine that your voice is a conductor. It is the conductor's wand, the magic wand. And it is orchestrating sources, music of truth and light through you, unfettered, unstoppable, and flowing profoundly, forever, just as it should. Good. That last statement I could feel, ka-chink, is sinking in. Excellent. So I'm going to play the gongs just a little bit here to kind of help anchor some of this beautiful new That was a nice frequency bath through our spine to ground us and integrate and stabilize these energies. And let's imagine that we have a golden, resilient egg around our entire being to protect and allow these energies to even more deeply gel and hold. Grounded, anchored. Excellent. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to turn the recording part off, and then we'll have a community comments and discussion. My name is Jan Jorgensen at soundandlighthealingarts.com. And that's what I do, just as it sounds. The art of healing the human condition through sound and light. Healing Arts. Take care.